All right, so you get certified. Well, then what? Well, welcome to the club. You get the keys to the special VIP IT security bathrooms. No, I'm just kidding. But realistically, though, you get industry recognized certification. You get career options and opportunities. Things are going to open up as far as your career path, whether you want to go into system security, and that being with desktops, servers, storage, or network security, or application security. You could be an application security specialist. So Security Plus is kind of the first rung of that ladder, and you kind of decide which area of security you want to dig deeper into, but it opens up the door. Most Fortune 500 companies look for certification when they're hiring. All right, so if you think about it, if you have 20 people applying for the same job, all 20 have similar experience, give or take, but one person has certifications and one doesn't. Okay, you have a cert, the other person doesn't. Who do you think they give the nod to? They're going to give the nod to the person who's certified if all other things are relatively equal. All right, so it just gives you that one extra kind of tool in your tool belt when you're applying for a job or looking for internal advancement. All right, and then a bit of a side note: the Department of Defense, or the DoD rather, mandates that all IT personnel that work in certain divisions within the federal government have one or more IT certifications, depending upon their job function, and Security Plus fulfills that requirement. All right, so not to get too far off on a tangent, but I just want to cover this real quick. The DoD Directive 8570-1, it was created in 2004, and it was basically as a response to the events of 9/11. So it was a method or a way for the federal government to enforce computer and network security for itself and also for affiliated partners, in other words, contractors. So you may say to yourself, well, wait a minute, I'm not going to be working for the federal government, don't really have any plans to, I don't care about this. Well, you very well may still care, because if you're a contractor, even though you don't work for the government, you may be working for a contractor that supplies services to the government. In that case, Security Plus certification is very valuable. There are two classifications or tracks within the DoD Directive 8570-1, IAT, which is Information Assurance Technical. That's basically individual contributors and non-management personnel. And then IAM, or Information Assurance Management, and that's, as you may guess, personnel with direct or indirect reports, okay, people that manage other people. And Security Plus fulfills whether you are an individual contributor or a technical person or a management person. Security Plus fulfills either of those requirements. It's a level 2 for IAT or a level 1 for IAM. So again, it was created in 2004, and for a 5 or 6 year period, there was an optional level of compliance. But by 2010, okay, a few years ago, it's 100% compliance is required. So as of a few years back, you have to have some type of certification that you see on the list over on the right-hand side. You have to have some type of certification in order to be compliant with that mandate. All right, so anyway, let's get started. And as we go through the course, I want you to take notes when necessary so you can go back and review. Again, as we go through these various videos, some things are going to sink right in. Others are going to be a little more kind of esoteric, and you may not get the information right away. Take some notes, jot down, say, hey, go back and review this, go back and review that. So that way, as you start to build upon the information, when one video kind of refers back or builds upon knowledge from another, it kind of sinks in. But if you have some areas where you still need some review, you have notes, and you can go back and kind of fill in the gaps, so to speak. And then also, think of how a specific topic or a concept could apply to your current job. All right, I know if you're like me, when I was in school or when I'm learning something or sitting in a seminar, especially school is a great example, I would sit back in math class and say, when am I ever going to learn, use calculus? When am I ever going to use geometry? How is a Pythagorean theorem going to benefit me in my life? Because I didn't foresee having ever having a situation where I would use that. So what did I do? I basically kind of shut down and never really absorbed that information. And as a result, it never really stuck with me. If I was kind of passionate about a job, or I was actually currently working in a job where that specific piece of knowledge was a benefit, then you better believe it would sink in and I would be able to retain it and also apply it. So as you go through this course, make sure you kind of take each bit and piece and kind of figure out and say, hey, how can I apply this to my own life or to my own job? That way it has more value, it sinks in, and you're going to retain more.